Hello, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This time for an impromptu FPS, so we don't currently have a name for it.
No.
We will come up with one before it goes up, probably.
Yes. Hopefully you like it. It looks cool.
Yes, so thank you for joining us. My name is Candlestick, and today I'm going to be playing my deity of childhood, Daisy. And I am joined by the talented and amazing, and I am so glad I have been swept up into their so many schemes and plot threads. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Winona, the holder of plot and lore, and I have brought so many people into it.
It's fantastic. It's like all of the threads are incredible. It's definitely scream worthy.
I'm very happy that you think that. But yeah, impromptu FES. This little is a. I was just like listening to their Christmas FES. And it's just like I was just like I wonder because right now it's New Year's and everyone is busy.
Yeah. So this comes like right on the tail end of the game with the FPS Wiss and I just played Homeward Tracks with Daisy and Missy. So it wouldn't be fair to do one of Joy's best friends and not the other. So yeah, Winona and I were like impromptu FPS, impromptu FPS.
Yes. Hee hee.
Uh,
However,
so
we're not very sure exactly how to start.
yeah. Well, I think so this is probably taking place after Animus. Probably, yeah, in that busy time between Animus and New Year. And Daisy has had more motivation to potentially seek out a certain other friend of Joy's who they've heard about from both Missy and Joy at this point. And yeah. So where do you think Madlad would be right now?
Oh yeah. Oh, if we're gonna put this before New Year's, but after Animus, he's definitely at the fireworks store. He is getting stocked up.
Oh, Joy. Oh god, that's fantastic. Hmm. I'm just trying to think. Um I'm okay. I maybe need to roll something to recognize him because
All right.
I'm sure that Daisy has probably gotten a description from Joy at some point, but depending on how good that description is, we'll see. So yeah.
That's fair.
What would you say I should roll for this?
Hmm. Maybe a history.
Yeah, history will work. 12. All right. Average. So I think that is probably doesn't recognize him straight away, but probably will with a little bit of um maybe like look back kind of thing, if you know what I mean, like
Yeah. Hmm.
like
Yeah,
a
like
double
second.
take.
I had to like take a second glance.
Yeah. And now I need to roll something else because this is what Daisy does.
Yeah.
Ha!
Dang. That's
Uh,
hilarious.
that would have been a stealth.
Oh boy.
But it's kind of hard to stealth when you go through the doors of a shop and it goes ding dong. thing kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, well, let me make a roll for Madlad to see if he even even looks. Let's just do base perception. Well, that's a 10. So
He had someone come
this
into the
child does not
store.
really say, maybe a quick glance to see, oh, someone's there. Okay, looks back. Does not care about this person. Knows that you're there, but does not know or recognize you.
Yep. No. Well, they're not being particularly stealthy about it, but yeah, Madlad's not paying enough attention to when Daisy floats over to them, like probably like just above their head to like sort of see what he's up to. And
Yeah.
just sort of stays there.
Yeah. Madlad does not care. He is he takes his job seriously. He wants to get the best fireworks possible.
Examining each and every one of them.
Yes. However, I feel like as a god, you definitely recognize Madlab, but you get the very much vibe of something is not right with this kid. And maybe with that initial like perception, you don't know what right now, but you're just like,
Oh, that's a
this
history.
is his history.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll an insight, maybe?
Yeah, insight. Just let's do that.
Alright, cool. I can do that. Oh my god! Oh, well, this is what they do!
This is what they do, and they see all.
That's a 29.
They know exactly what they know. They see through Madlad, and they are worried. They see what has happened, and probably has prayer hands.
Yeah, because I've already sort of established from like other characters and stuff, they would be able to tell that there is more than just like so straight off the bat. They can tell people's ages. Both like physical ages and like mental ages, I guess.
Yeah.
And they would be able to tell that. They would be able to tell about Alexander. And they would be able to tell about the whole Alexander being dead before part.
And not only that, technically, this is like a roundabout 16-year-old, maybe 17-year-old, say 17-year-old soul within a 8-year-old, like a 9-year-old soul. It's just like.
Yeah. I mean, they're both technically still within their domain, but, oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah.
Alright, time for me to roll something else. We went the whole FPS pretty much with, between me and Wiz with very little rolls, and now it's like 4 of them in the first 10 minutes. It's like.
Yeah. It being that way sometimes.
Alright, not too bad. Okay, that, yeah, they're still following along behind Madlad for a little bit, sort of check, like, all of this is, like, happening, and they're just, like, floating along above Madlad's head. And eventually, they're just going to, like, they're just going to say, like, just speak up and just be like, that's a lot of fireworks.
Around and sees. I was like, oh yeah, of course it is. It's gonna be the New Year's. You gotta go out with a bang.
Well, That definitely looks like you got it covered then. And yeah, Madlad, this person is floating above your head.
I mean, he has seen flying toons before.
Yeah.
He will note that it's a little bit odd since you don't have wings, but he's
Also,
seen weirder things.
They're real kind.
Well, if it's real kind, he's very now like he's just staring at them. He's like, "Wait, why are you flying?" And he says that out loud.
Daisy's just gonna grin and magic as they like sort of like plop back down on their feet.
Oh, you're a magic-y person. That makes sense. And Madlad just nods his head.
Daisy's hiding their grin. Yes, they're a magic-y person. Uh-huh.
Not wrong technically, but not exactly right.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do with them all?
Oh, gonna set up a big display for the family.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get to do this last year, but I want to do it this year because it's just like I've been learning a lot about fireworks, and now I want to make my own display for when New Year's is. I'm very excited.
Is this the first time you've done this?
Firework? Not exactly, no. Putting on a show? Yes.
Huh. Cool. And you're doing it by yourself?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Huh, okay. Well, they did know that Madlad was a bit of a troublemaker, so they're just gonna nod and
A second pair of hands maybe wouldn't hurt if you've never done it before.
Appreciate. I mean, I'm okay. I handled gunpowder before. I am a gunslinger, so it is my forte.
Whoa, that's super neat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Been basically forging, making guns my entire life.
Yeah, no, Daisy can't ask that. The immediate thing that came to Daisy's head was which one.
Yeah, probably not the wisest.
So instead they're just going to nod. Oh, like
That is a lot of experience.
Yep.
Reckon you could show me?
Madlad looks at them. I mean, if you want. I mean, never had really anyone, no stranger asked me that before, but I can give you a quick rundown of stuff.
Right. I suppose I hadn't introduced myself. Hi, I'm Daisy.
and they're going to do like a little bit of a bow kind of thing.
Madlad pauses. Yeah, he's just like, wait, Daisy.
You want to roll a history?
Yeah, Madlad's gonna roll a history. Okay, that is going to be a 14. So Madlad is just so Madlad is like, wait a minute, Daisy. By chance, do you know a little girl that yay big, brown, has a little fairy backpack? Her name is Joy.
Yep. She's my friend. And you would be Madlad, right?
I am Madlad. Wait
Well,
a minute.
Madlad, it's nice to finally meet you.
Aren't you a god?
Yep. Their face breaks into a grin, and
You could say that.
Ah. You know, this isn't the first time I met a guy, but it still feels awkward every single time.
Oh, really? Who have you met? Who else have you met?
It's just like, it just cracks his neck a little bit. He's like, well, I met Chaos, the god of Discord, multiple times now. I've met now you. I know he has met some other gods, but I can't remember their names right now off the top of my head, but he will list them.
Yeah, Daisy's
At
gonna
least
nod.
there has been at least 2 other gods.
Daisy's gonna nod. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna roll a history for Daisy because they don't currently know any of the gods because they haven't met another god in 3,000 years, so
Oh, baby.
so they're just gonna nod, like pretending that they know what Madlad, like who Madlad is talking about.
Oh, baby. Love them.
Wow. You sure have been on many and well, you sure met some pretty interesting people.
Madlad's nod. Yeah, it's been a lot since I've got here.
Yeah? You having fun though?
Complicated history. Madlad doesn't look at them directly.
Yeah. Yeah, they might be able to guess that. I think um what are you gonna do? I think they're gonna like tilt their head to the side and then
Well, if you're done here, you did say you'd show me what you can do.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. No problem. And Madlad starts leaving the store.
without paying for it.
Yeah.
God.
When he goes to get fireworks, it's always at the big box stores. Just out of spite, he always steals from them because it's just like it's not stealing if it's from if it's capitalism.
Yeah, okay. So Daisy has kind of liberal is a little bit liberal with ownership of things as well. So they're just gonna sort of watch Madlad like head for the door and then just
What are you doing?
Madlad looks at them and then uses expeditious retreat to dash off.
no, what they were going to do, like, okay, before Madlad can dash off, like Daisy's gonna like pick him up and like take them out through like one of the more obscure exits, just being like, this is more fun.
Madlad probably nods. Yeah, that's right. Now come follow me. As Madlad then uses expeditious retreat and just dashes off.
Yeah. Yeah, Daisy's gonna follow. They're just like, yeah, okay, like um they're their their relationship with laws is a little bit complicated because they don't have to follow them.
Yeah.
So it's more about more about what they've been doing was like don't get caught kind of thing.
Oh yeah. And Madlad for the sake of this FPS does not get caught. He just runs off and he goes to basically do a scene change to the outs to the outskirts edges of Toontown where the woods and the wilds begin. And he finally stops at a little lakeside outside of the outside of the town. He's like, all right, this is a good spot.
Do you do that often?
Oh, every day.
Well, Joy did say that you are a troublemaker, and so did Missy, actually.
And Madlad just gives a mischievous, happy smile. Yeah, you can say that.
Just be careful about getting caught, because, well, there are people who seem to care about you, and you have to live in this society.
I don't have to agree with it, though. I'll break out. May take me a bit, but I will.
Oh, you're going to get into a lot of trouble, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I already have.
Well,
Hee.
just make sure you have a backup plan.
Of course I do. What do you think I am? An idiot? I may be only say 10. Well, not 10 yet. I'm going to be 10 in a couple months. But I may be only 9, but I am smart.
Well, doesn't hurt to check. It's good planning.
I know. My mama's always told me to have a backup plan.
And an exit strategy.
Yep. Always have a backup plan and exit strategy. As he sets the fireworks down and starts saying, and he sits down also.
They want to kind of bring up the what Madlad said before in the store about it's complicated. He just didn't want to have they didn't want to have that conversation in the store.
That's fair.
So I think they're gonna tilt their head to the side and
So your time's been complicated, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's no good way to say that saying that. Well, I did not. Well, I didn't come here technically on purpose. It was more of it was supposed to be a vacation, but then I got stranded here because someone attacked my ship and then killed my crew and parents, and yeah.
Okay. Oh god, time for another deception. Yep. Yeah. You're only getting mild concerned at that, not absolute full-blown panic kind of thing. Just
That's a lot. Are you okay?
Yeah. Madlad just nods. It is. And it always seems to be coming up.
In a good way or in a bad way?
More like it feels awkward to say oh, why are you here? I'm like, oh, it's because of this super sad reason.
That's fair. Well, if you want to talk about it, I'm all ears.
and they wiggle their actually very big ears.
Madlad chuckles at that. Aren't you like the god of like happy childhoods?
Well, I wouldn't say that in particular. I'm god of childhood and in protecting kids and making sure they have the ability to grow up good. So I get to see a lot of different kids. Ones that come from less fortunate things and ones that don't.
Madlad just nods slowly, and even though they say Daisy can't hear, Alexander is like in Madlad's head. It's like, God, where were you 8 years ago?
I mean, they can't ask that.
No, Alexander will not be coming out right now. But basically, Madlad is hearing that in his head, and Madlad is just like, hush you. But Madlad nods like, yeah, I have not had a normal childhood per se. Not
Really?
exactly it was bad.
Never would have guessed.
Alright, you got me there. But it's more like before I came to Equal, I lived with Real Kind and on their pirate ship. And we traveled everywhere. And even though I did get to play with kids at time, I didn't grow up with like people around like Missy or Joy have.
Well, I mean,
They. Sorry, I'm just thinking like because they are also thinking they know Joy didn't grow up having a normal childhood, and Madlad doesn't seem to know that. So
No, he does not.
I think and they don't know how Missy grew up, but they know enough to know that she's had some incidences in her life, well, at least to the point where she wants to keep her family safe, which is not normal
Yeah.
for a 7-year-old. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna tilt their head to the side and
well, everyone's normal is a little different to them. And you might be surprised by what you assume.
Maybe. Like, I take comfort in at least that, say, Missy in particular is similar to me. Like, her parents both died, and we at least have that in common. I actually don't know much about Joy's situation or her past, other than she has two mothers. I assume she had a good childhood, but at the same time, I don't know. I know she had trouble. She was worried about you and everything, but I don't know. But I feel bad in prying.
You should ask. She wouldn't mind. And she, well, to be honest, may be more similar to you than you think.
It's a child. It's like a childhood. Oh, you have no idea. So kind of laugh. It's just like that sort of suspicious laugh. Like, ha, I highly doubt that.
Well,
I'm just trying to figure out what they would say because they want to like share enough, but also not. So they're gonna be like,
well, for starters, Joy didn't start in Inkwell either. She came from a real kind place too. And, she didn't always have the mums that she has now.
Oh, where did she come from? Maybe I've heard of it.
She came from a place in Furuma.
Red nod. I see. I've definitely heard of Faruma just by talking around being around, traveling around the continent. I haven't been there myself, but it seems like a lot of real kind that moved from there to here.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty close to Inkwell. It's where I'm from too.
Fair enough.
Yeah. If you ever go there, maybe I can show you around.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah, but I'm not surprised that she comes from a mainly real kind place, mainly because she is real kind. Not to say that they say not all real kind come from outside Inkwell, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Yeah, I'm from a continent. Well, at least a part. Let's say a continent pretty far. Even though we sail around a large amount of territory, but it's in a continent genre. It's very far from here.
Ow. That. Yeah, you've come a long way then.
Madlad not. My mama wanted to show me what tunes are like, since there really isn't any other than at least my uncle. And see, he was the only tune on their ship, and even then, he had a bad time. He wanted to explore the world, but unfortunately, he was basically was made into a slave for a little bit until my mom freed him.
Well, your mum sounds like a pretty awesome woman.
She was a very awesome woman. But yeah, I didn't have any reference for tunes except for him, and they thought to show what more tunes are like. We come to the place where they're born from, and say at least most of them. I mean, here in Inkwell. But that didn't go exactly to plan.
Yeah. No, that. I'm sorry that happened.
Eh, I mean, a lot. I mean, even though it was sad, I, I, I ironically got a lot of good friends and new family out of it. But that's still sad that I had. It's good and bad. I'm happy now, but I always wasn't.
That makes sense. It can be difficult when something big happens and you lose people you care about. But then you also get people you never would have met otherwise in your life and you really like them.
Madlad nod. Yeah, like Missy and Joy. They're my best friends.
Are they now?
Yeah, my best friends.
Well, that's good to hear, because from the sounds of it, you and Missy are Joy's best friends.
I'm glad to hear that. Hee hee.
I also hear that you go on a lot of adventures and pull them into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the side effect of being around someone as awesome as me. And Madlad just sort of poofs up his chest and just sort of, in a way, sort of just show off some of his muscles.
Well, that's great.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I'm just trying to figure out how the.
Well, I'm
You're
glad. I'm glad that they have such an awesome friend. But, as leader, you also need to make sure that they're okay as well with the things that you pull them into.
I know that. That's why I don't. Okay, I feel a bit guilty, and it's just kind of a reason why I don't put. Can you promise not to tell them what I'm about to say?
Yeah,
And
I can even pinky swear if you want.
No, I'll say I can trust you as a god as long as you promise by your word. But
Well, you
yeah, it's
have
just
my word. I won't tell them unless it's really,
Yeah.
really, 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 really important to do so.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just more I'm not very sure if they're ready yet. It's just I know they're strong in some cases, but both of them don't have a lot of experience, and just like that's why I haven't really been pulling in them into a lot of my adventures, because it's just like this is old hat for me. I have been on many adventures, but they're still beginning. And granted, it's because of how I lived. I was thrown into the deep water the moment I was born. And he says that sort of a question, but he just shakes his head and continues like I really want to say go on more adventures with them, but at the same time I'm trying to find adventures that don't freak them out and or are over their heads.
That's very thoughtful of you. I'm sure that they appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I just for the most part we just hung out instead of like going on adventures. Like I tried to like do some training with Missy once, but even the basic training was given when I would first start out was a little bit too much for her. I don't know. It's just differences in how we were raised. You had to you had to sharpen up fast, otherwise you wouldn't survive.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing that you guys were brought up differently.
Yeah, but it also makes me show how different I am, even from quote unquote even more normal kids, like children, toon children, and even real kind children. It's just like I was brought up a fighter, but not. But a lot of them have not, even though like they can fight. But it's just like, just the age and experience.
Do you think that Joy and Missy care about that?
Maybe a little bit, but that's maybe because I'm a bit too cautious of not suggesting really many adventures. Because because I'm afraid of choosing the wrong adventure, thinking they could do it, but in reality they can't.
Maybe you should talk to them about it.
Maybe.
'Cause I know from what I've heard from Joy and from Missy now that they think that you're really cool and really strong. And I don't think they care that you're not normal, a normal kid. I I think that if you stick with it, you and talk to them, you can all go on adventures.
Madlad does give a small smile at that. He's not, yeah, maybe we can. It's just, I've been worried a lot lately with, well, some things that I've found out about myself and the stuff at least Missy's brother has been a part of slash discovered along with Crystal. Uh, I'm also kind of afraid shit may go down, but I don't want them to be within the crossfire.
It's hard when people you care about could get hurt.
Yeah. And Mad Lad sort of like holds his arm a bit. And he's just like, I couldn't take losing someone. Neither of them.
Yeah, I get that. I wouldn't know what I would do if something happened to Joy again.
Yeah. And I don't know what has happened to Joy, but I hope it isn't anything as bad as I've went through.
Well, those things are hard to compare because they're different for different people.
Yeah, and I pretty sure she's not messed up as much as me. And he's just like not looking at the god right now.
Hmm.
I don't think you're messed up.
Well, that makes one of us. I still think I'm pretty messed up.
But messy doesn't necessarily mean bad.
But it makes things so much more complicated.
But that's part of the fun. Would you really want to have a boring life?
Madlad opens his mouth and closes his mouth. He then opens his mouth and is just like trying to think of the right words. He's just like, I don't want a boring life. The life that has been given to me has been tricky.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm sorry that it has been, but at least you have people to help you now, and hopefully you can use it to become to get to a place where you're happier.
Maybe. He sort of looks at his own hand. He's just like, maybe one day, but I don't know. At least there's a part of me that knows that I won't get the childhood that I wanted back.
Yeah, maybe not, but you've still got a lot of childhood in front of you.
I mean, I do. And he says that very in particular because just like he's definitely thinking about Alexander right in that moment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, time to roll a D2. All right. Yeah. Okay, that's the way that Daisy's gonna go about it then. Yeah, they're gonna tilt their head and
You don't seem so sure about that.
Yeah.
Told you. You can tell me anything, and I won't tell anyone.
I don't know if you are. I mean, you're a god, so there's a part of me that thinks you already know kind of what's up. But at the same time, I don't want to assume. But I also don't want to offend you by thinking that you wouldn't know. You know?
Alright, well, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to push you. But, yeah, I can tell.
Madlad nods. Yeah. It's. Yeah. That's I don't know how messy Joy's past is, but I'm pretty messy. Basically, as you've known, two souls inside of me. One that is my current age and 9, and he's quiet for a second. Yeah, it would make Alexander about 17.
Their name is Alexander.
Madlad nods. Their name is Alexander.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Alexander.
Technically I'm in control right now, so I can't. 1 second. As Madlad then takes a deep breath and closes his eyes, and then a red glow comes from his chest as like red veins start to spring up from his chest to down his arms and then to his face and everything, and he opens his eyes to be red and this is in a different voice than Madlad. It's like, it's nice to meet you too. Daisy, am I correct?
Yep, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
Yeah. We, or at least I now that I'm in control, say, this is a bit awkward. Even though Madla has met gods, I agree that I haven't really met gods myself. This is different.
No, that's fair. It's kind of unusual, to be honest.
I don't know. From what I've seen in say an Inkwell, it feels like the gods like meddling with mortals more than real kind ones like myself.
Yeah, I. I'll be honest. I'm still kind of new to Inkwell, so I don't know much on that front. But that seems to be true. And they don't usually interfere as much in real kind countries.
Alexander nods. Yeah. It's honestly more. It's a very rare occurrence, if anything, unless you're part of the clergy or any other religious sort of thing like paladins. But that's besides the point. But I'm sorry. It's just I just find it very ironic to meet with a god that is supposedly supposed to, well, protect childhood when I could have needed you a long time ago.
All right. I'm gonna
I'm
roll this
sorry.
at
Alexander is
disadvantage.
projecting a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna roll this at disadvantage, and you're welcome to roll insight if you'd like.
Of course. Give me 1 second. Come on.
Is it dis to get it at disadvantage at the end?
I just usually roll 2 dice.
Ah, nice. No, that didn't work. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna roll it again.
Yeah, that was a D2. What is that? Okay.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's an 18. No,
Okay.
wait, that's a 17.
Yeah. 17 plus 10 still.
Yeah. That's fair. They are God.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Alexander, you're not gonna be, I don't think you're gonna be able to tell how that hit But Daisy is going to still look down and
I'm sorry that I couldn't help. It was, well, I haven't been able to do as much until recently, to be honest.
Oh, why is that?
how are you going to go about this? I'm gonna roll another D2. All right. Well, they're gonna be upfront about it. Bit of a um, a bit of a small smile under shrug in the.
Well, it's kinda hard to do your job when you're trapped in a jewel.
Alexander gives a nod. That's completely fair. Must have been some power. You must have been up against some either devious or powerful mages to they have been able to do that to you.
Oh, yeah, I pissed off another god.
That would do it then. I'm sorry to hear that.
Not as sorry that I am about what I hear from what I can see with you.
Alexander sort of looks at himself and he's just like, you don't need to fully blame yourself. I was reckless, young and eager, wanting to prove myself, and I paid the ultimate price. I was just lucky to be brought back in some way, shape, or form, even though I admit that I did went a little bit mad for a while.
It's not your fault. Even if it was something you did, it's not your fault. You're just a kid.
I honestly don't know what I am anymore. I am. I may have died when I was only a year younger than, say, Madlad here, but I've watched Madlad grow over the 8 years. I don't know what I am. I'm not very sure if I'm still a child, or technically a teenager, almost adult.
You're both. I can tell you that much. Just because you might not have. Just because you're sharing Madlad's body doesn't mean that you're not still you. You are still growing and learning and becoming an adult.
That's some reassurance that I've needed for a while. He does give a small smile. Thank you.
Yeah. Daisy will smile back at the.
You're welcome.
Honestly, I don't know what to go from. There's. We have made amends, Madlad and I, but again, it's hard to be my own person when you're stuck in another one's body.
Yeah, I. That's very true. And I don't know how much I can help with that. But, um, well, I could maybe help you look if you'd like.
He gives us a soft chuckle. That does sound nice. But I'm not very sure if there's anything that could be done about this. The only people that probably could possibly know how to remedy this were my parents, and, well, they're dead.
And were your parents the same ones as Madlad's?
Madlad, say, Alexander shook his head. No, different ones. They made this a body originally for me, and, well, because of some accident, Madlad came into existence.
That, well, that sure is a lot.
Exactly. We do not appear. We do not appear often, mainly because we had to basically repeat this story every single time because it is confusing and a lot.
So you have people that know?
Only a few, only a handful. We try to keep it this way for simplicity's sake and, well, for their safety. If you're curious, neither his friends know. Missy doesn't know, nor does Joy.
Yeah, I was a little bit curious. Um, though I guess I hadn't heard anything from Joy about it. Which isn't to say that she wouldn't know, but it was less likely because she does tend to tell me these sort of things.
Yes, we try to keep secret as much as possible. Especially now with the tides are turning with, well, people looking into my blood and physiology. Call it just a gut feeling about something going wrong, but I say I've always been told to trust my gut. Or I should say our guts.
This was what Madlad was worried about, right?
Alexander nod. Yes.
And
So we went. Oh, sorry, you go?
No, you can go. It's fine.
No, you gotta say. You go.
All right. Um,
and you have people who know about this. Do you trust them?
I trust them well enough. Madlad is pretty good with character, telling people's character. They say, if he trusts them, I will trust them.
Good. It's good to know that you've at least got someone. And yeah.
Yes. I do come out more often around some people rather than others, but it's still difficult. We again do not make ourselves known often and not without purpose.
Yeah. I can understand why. Would that be your family that you're comfortable around? Or Madlad's family?
Unfortunately, they still had bad blood with his family. There was a long story short, I was still a bit mad and attacked them. And even though we've made our peace now, I do not go in front of them. However, I do have kind of a grandmotherly figure in another friend of Madlad's. Her name is Carmina. She lives on the farm, say, outside of, say, Inkwell, not Inkwell, Toontown.
This wouldn't happen to be the farm with the giant bugs on it, would it?
Alexander chuckles. Yes, it would be. She's a good woman, and say I do care about her.
Just so you know, Missy still wants Madlad to take her there.
God knows, say, but unfortunately, the bugs usually hibernate now in the winter time.
I was correct. I did say that they might not like the cold.
Yeah, they don't like the cold at all.
Anyway, I just thought it was worth making sure, 'cause yeah, she was really hung up on the adventure at the farm.
Duly noted then. We will try to get her there as soon as spring comes.
I'm sure you will. But I'm glad you have people that you trust.
I do too. It is a bit of comfort in my sea of unknowns.
Yeah, having people that you can rely on helps a lot when you don't know what's gonna come.
Yes. And I hope to maybe see you a bit more. I would like to try to regain some of my lost childhood, if possible.
I will do my best, but I'm glad that you would like to see more of me, 'cause well, definitely more likely to show up since Madlad's Joy's friend.
Yes, it does make things convenient at least. However, we do want to pressure the issue of not telling either of them for their safety.
Yeah, not my well, it's not my place to tell them, and I can understand why you wouldn't. There were there are things that I haven't told Joy either. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard sometimes, but it's what we need to do to survive, unfortunately. I know how close Madlad is with those two.
Yes.
It does
I
pain him.
yeah, I do too. But surviving is only one part of it. You also need to live.
Hmm. Yes, that is also true. To live. I will try to live.
Trying's all we can ask.
Alexander nods. If I don't mind asking, even though Mad Lad doesn't like to pry, I I am a bit more cautious than him. What did happen to Joy?
They do like sort of let out a breath that sort of, because they're not a toon, but they are still like a deity of childhood, so it's a very exaggerated sigh that kind of like they flop backwards with it, and then they sort of like turn and look at Alexander, and
I'm not sure how much to say, since it's not all my place to tell.
Then tell what you feel comfortable with.
I know. Hmm, she didn't come from the best home life before. And her old parents, the job they had, was how she found me. I wasn't exactly in a great place, um, or in much of a position to help myself. And she got me out of there. But they were after her because of me for a while.
He gives a nod. I see. That's unfortunate.
Yes, I, in the end, needed help from someone I was supposed to be protecting. But without her, I never would have gotten free. So I get it.
Ye- yes. Even the gods need help every once in a while, it seems. Sort of the way of how Inkwell works, it feels like.
Well, this didn't happen in Inkwell, and I'm just a little god. So, who knows?
That is true. But stories make up a whole part of this section of the world, it feels like. So I don't feel like you should be too hard on yourself.
Alright, I'll try not to. But, yeah, that's all I can really tell you about what Joy's been through. Anything more would have to come from her.
No, I say that's all I need. I can say I have thoughts and theories, but I won't say I will not push anything else.
and they sort of
It
nod seriously, like, yeah, that's fair.
also makes a lot of sense now in her mannerisms. I say her social skills do need a little bit more touching up.
Oh god. Daisy's just telling me she's perfect the way she is, thank you very much. But like, I think there's like sort of a flash of like protectiveness, and then like just a smile and the
She's come a long way, but she could still use some help.
That's fair. That seems reasonable. But I think I will let Madlad take over from now. I still don't feel comfortable being out in the open. He sort of looks around.
Well, I appreciated getting to meet you.
Likewise. As the red veins sort of curl back and disappear into his chest as Madlad his eye you see Madlad's eyes turn coming back, and he sort of shakes his head and sort of blinks a little bit, and red in his red eyes then turn back to his normal silver.
Hey, welcome back. I don't know how much of that you can
Oh, I
hear.
heard everything.
Right. Well,
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, he hears everything I say. I hear everything he says. Like, we can't read each other's thoughts technically, but we can hear and see everything, and and feel everything that the other feels.
well, that sounds.
And I'm also very sorry about that. He is more cautious, and I would never have asked that.
It was his right. I wish I could have done more.
Don't be hard on yourself. Say you did your best. I'll say if you could have done something, you would have done it. You shouldn't feel too hard.
I guess that's true. So,
And they sort of stop, and then they they sort of like look like they're thinking, and then
but I'm free now, and so I can help if you need it. If you want,
and they sort of like I don't know why they're being so shy about this. Like
Oh,
the
if you want, you can hold out your arm.
huh? Madlad is curious, like, okay, and he holds out his arm.
yeah, and Daisy's going to like sort of like put a hand over it, and Madlad, you now have a bracelet. It's the same sort of one that Missy got, which is just like a like a string bracelet with a little like daisy like flower like looped at the top.
Aw.
And if you ever need me, I can find you.
I say Madlad nods. Thanks. I think I would like that. I know Alexander has had it harder than me, but it's been a bit tough since I came here, and I think maybe talking to you every once in a while would be nice.
I'd like that too. And in case you're curious or worried, Joy and Missy have these two, or close enough, and I will be able to find them as well.
It does help a lot. I like making sure they're safe.
Yeah, I get that. And
Uh.
I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad I met you too, finally.
Yeah, I know. I should have come and tried to find you sooner than this. I've heard so much about you from Joy, and I'm like, oh, I need to meet these friends of hers that she's been telling me about. And then I was just busy because I was out around the place, and then I didn't, and now I have, and it's been cool.
Yeah, Madlad just chuckles. Hey, don't worry about it. Say we all get caught up in our own little world sometimes. Especially if you haven't been around for a while, you want to see everything.
Yeah, there's so much here.
Yeah, there is. That's why I love here in Inkwell. I basically get to see something new every single day.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's like I still haven't been everywhere, but there's just so much that happens all the time.
Madlad nods happily. Yeah. It's just like everything happens all the time. You don't know what's gonna come next, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, and there's so many kids everywhere, and they're all unique and all getting into all sorts of things.
Madlad just nods enthusiastically. Yeah. Say that's one of the things I'm really happy about. It's just like I get to meet kids around my age, or not always around my age, but I get to meet other kids. And it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that you get to meet people now. I know that it it means it's different for kids to not have someone around your age.
Yeah. Never realized I was missing that until I got here to Inkwell. I mean, I couldn't say I'm not mad at my mama or any of the crewmates for not having me around a lot of kids because they were pirates. They couldn't have a lot at the time. But I also remember them trying to make that time, trying to get me interacting, and I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like you had some really good family, despite everything that you had to go through.
Madlad
You were really
nods.
lucky to have had that.
I agree. I was very lucky. But hey, I still need to teach you about how fireworks work.
Yes, you did promise to give me a show, and
Yeah.
I am so excited to see that because I don't think I've seen fireworks in yeah, over 3,000 years.
3,000 years too long. Yeah, let me show you how they work. And maybe that's a good place of ending it off for
I think
Madlad playing fireworks and giving Daisy a show at the end.
I think that's an excellent place to leave off with Madlad showing Daisy how the fireworks work. Like, oh, that's very cute.
Yes. And there's now one more person that knows about Alexander. Because technically only crew is, say, Carmenia, Crystal, and, say, Chipley. And there was
Lynn now.
Yeah. Is a I know I know them. They're in my mind. It's arrows. No. My brain just fizzed out on their name.
That's fair. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're like, oh god, how many people know this now? I should really write this down.
Like I know who I can visualize it. Tersua. Say Tersua.
Oh, right.
Tessera.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Tessera technically say knows, and those are the only people who know about say Alexander, like the Velvet family and everyone and those other ones.
Yep. Well, now a deity knows about them, so
Yeah, but also Madlad sort of assumed that they probably knew what's up because God. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
especially
just want to make
because
sure that Daisy doesn't tell Missy nor Joy.
yeah, like okay, to be honest, like this is sort of like it was smack bang in the middle of the sort of things that Daisy does pick up on. Like Daisy doesn't pick up on everything, but it was definitely a big thing that they would. But they also weren't going to tell anyone unless they felt they needed to because you know, privacy is still something kids deserve and need. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
but like they're very glad that Madlad and Alexander decided to actually talk to them about that because oh boy, that's a lot.
Yeah, and maybe now they can get their own little therapy sessions going.
Yeah, like
God, these kids need therapy.
yeah, and Daisy will be like, I am not a therapist. You should definitely consider seeing one. But they are also a god of childhood, so they can help out a little bit. Like, they do have experience with sort of kids who are in situations where they can't turn to anyone else and, like, helping foster, like, their spirit and like ability to cope with some of the things that kids shouldn't have to go through kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyways, thank you everyone for listening into this impromptu FPS.
Yeah, hope you had fun.
Yep.
Thank you, Winona, for doing this. This was great fun. I'm really glad we managed to do it.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we were able to too. All right, bye.
Bye.
And